Storytelling, we all need it because this is how we get our message across to our audiences, this is how we sell, this is how we engage with people, this is how we make friends, this is how we keep people engaged in our life, in our story. So I'm going to run you through a few things, a few exercises that you can do which are going to help you build your storytelling technique and basically bring things to life. That you have a lot of opportunities now to work with scripts and tell stories online and on your YouTube and on Instagram. So these stories need to be effective. They need to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. They need to be told effectively with the right pronunciation. They need to be told with the right emphasis on certain words and certain ways of telling the story, whether you're bringing up here or you're creating suspense. So to begin with, what we're going to do is start from the very beginning of where we first started hearing stories. And it was when we were children. Around age 4, we start to learn to read and we start to be read to. And this is where we start to cognitively understand what's going on. So my thesis with this is that if you can engage a 4-year-old to stay hooked and engaged with you whilst you tell a story for 5 to 10 minutes, you've won. Because their attention span is probably less than ours. Probably a little bit different now that we're all scrolling on phones, but we need to get attention. So we need to be able to hold attention well. And if you can hold the attention of a 4-year-old, then everything else is going to seem like a walk in a park. So the first exercise that we do in order to learn how to storytell is that we tell children's stories. And we can do this by practicing on our own. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of help from ChatGPT right now. I'm going to give a name. I'm going to say, write me a 1-page story about me, Robert, on an adventure through a mountain. And then I'm going to say, make it reading level for age 4. There we go. Be descriptive. So it's going to write me a story. It's called Robert and the Big Mountain. So, as that writes, we are now going to engage with this story. And I'm going to give you an example. One sunny morning, little Robert put on his red boots and blue backpack. Today, he was going out on a big adventure. That is not how we want to engage a 4-year-old. That is not going to engage anyone. When we're stuck looking into the story like this, then we're also going to be not even looking at our audience. We're not going to be able to focus on our audience. So what we need to learn the skill of is sight reading. And this is the best place to begin. We need to give emphasis to the words. And if you've been following the voice lessons that I've been putting up here, you'll see that we have to pay attention to the punctuation. And punctuation is about taking a breath when you need to take a breath, taking a beat when there's a little apostrophe or a comma or a full stop or an exclamation mark. So these things in the text, in any script that you're given, whether it's for sales or you're doing a marketing video or a VSL, are all going to have punctuation. So you need to pay attention to punctuation because this will give you the opportunity to see when you need to breathe. Breathing. Beats. So, let's set the scene as well. And we do this using the questions from Stanislavski, who is an acting practitioner, of who, what, where, when, why, for what reason. This gives you the given circumstances. So if you're getting up, your given circumstances are to engage a group of 4-year-olds with a story. Yes, that's the overall arching goal for you. But within the story, you need to know who you're talking about. You need to know what you're talking about. You need to know where it's going to go, where it's going to happen, what is happening and where is it happening. When did it happen? Was it yesterday? Is it tomorrow? Is it what could happen in the future? Why? Well, why? Why do we need to tell the story? Because it's going to help engage people. It's going to help give them education. It's going to inspire. It's going to do all these things. And then for what reason? For what reason does this story happen? Well, it's because Robert wanted to go to the big mountains, etc. So when we apply this in, we have to take note of what is giving it to us in the story. So I haven't read this story. This is just created on ChatGPT. So, one sunny morning. So when is it? It's morning. What's it like? It's sunny. So it's now. It's one sunny morning. That's where we are. That's the setting. Little Robert. Well, it's not big Robert. It's little Robert. Put on his red boots. They weren't blue, they weren't black, they weren't yellow, so they were red boots. What are they? Red boots. And blue backpack. So we're setting the scene for our kids to engage with this. So one sunny morning, little Robert put on his red boots and blue backpack. So see what I did there? We get physical. We have to get physical. We have to act this out. The more we act it out and the bigger we go, if we go between the scale of 1 to 10 on the scale of how big we get physically, we can dial it back. If we know what 10 is, we can bring it back to 5. If we know what 1 is, so one sunny morning, little Robert put on his red boots and blue backpack. See what I mean? And then if we go to about a 10, one sunny morning, little Robert put on his red boots and his blue backpack. See, that's a bit over the top, but that might engage a 4-year-old. So if you want to bring that back down, if your audience is, say, in their 40s or 50s, then you're going to embody it, but you still need to engage them physically. And you don't have to do this on stage, you do this in your rehearsal. So you embody things into yourself through physical work, and then you dial it back at the end. So now that I've embodied what the big 10 is like, one sunny morning, little Robert put on his red boots and blue backpack. So the coloring of the words and the shaping and the feeling behind them now have a physical embodiment behind them. They have a feeling because we've acted them out. We've put them out into the space, we've put them into our body. So, whilst we do this, we are sight reading. So to go over what sight reading means, it's the difference between going, one sunny morning, little Robert put on his boots and blue backpack, to one sunny morning, little Robert put on his red boots and blue backpack. Today, he was going on a big adventure up the tall, twisty mountain behind Grandma's house. Okay, so notice how I looked at my page or iPad 2 or 3 times, just a glimpse. To begin with, it's going to be really hard for you to do this, but the more you practice with this sight reading technique and start to see words and then be able to thought, breath, intention, connect, engage. Be safe and brave, Grandma said with a smile, giving him a banana and a bottle of water. Again, I rushed that, so I didn't see that Grandma said it with a smile, so I didn't say it with a smile. So the more I look and look down, be safe and brave, Grandma said with a smile, giving him a banana and a bottle of water. So we take it back. We take it back to the smile, and we go and look over it, and we look at the writing before we say it, and then we engage people in. So I want you to imagine that when you're telling this story to a 4-year-old, you're getting them into the story because you're in the story. And the more you bring yourself into the story, the more other people are going to want to engage. And notice how things can change a little bit with your voice. You can do everything that you just did with your body. You can do it with your voice. But now you've embodied that. You can make that happen with the voice. So we're going to pay attention to the punctuation now. So, one sunny morning, comma, little Robert put on his boots and blue backpack. Full stop. This is where we breathe. Today, he was going on a big adventure. Up the tall, twisty mountain behind Grandma's house. So Grandma's house has an exclamation mark. So it's exciting because it's behind Grandma's house. It's not down the road. It's not up the wall. It's not behind the whiteboard. It's behind Grandma's house. And Grandma, because that's such a powerful word, it's like, again, it's mom, grandma, dad, it's family, so it has a feeling to it. So that takes us in to the feeling of words. Feeling words. And that's the intention behind them. It's the memory behind them. And that's how we feel through. What does red symbolize to most people? Why are his boots red? Because it's a big visual cue. It's a very bright, vibrant color. You imagine red boots straight away. Red boots have been probably put in your face for many, many years without realizing. Now you're going to start thinking, oh, I saw red boots on that TV show. Oh, that cowgirl and that thing had red boots. Oh, that TV show I watched when I was a little kid, the kid had red boots. So now you know what red boots are. And that's why there's such a weight to them, because you've seen them multiple times. Again, with grandma, you might call your grandma Nan, you might call your grandma Nanny, or whatever it is, but it still has that weight. You've been saying that word and engaging with that kind of word since you were a little kid. So these are very, very wholesome and very much visceral in the body round here. We use our sounds. Grandma used those kind of sounds. So again, we'll go through the story. Be safe and brave, Grandma said with a smile, giving him a banana and a bottle of water. So it's not giving a banana and a bottle of water, it's a banana and a bottle of water. Robert waved and skipped towards the mountain path. So, Robert waved and skipped towards the mountain path. Birds chirped above him. So where are they? Above him. So if you can always stick to these and ask yourself these questions as you go along, that'll help you emphasize the right words. That'll help you engage the story a bit better and get you into it, because you'll be like, okay, so I'm going to move forward to the bit where I haven't read. So now I'm up a mountain. As Robert climbed higher, he saw a bunny with floppy ears hopping by. "Hello, bunny," Robert said. The bunny wiggled its nose and bounced away into the bushes. Okay, so let's slow that down. Let's pick that apart. What did he do? Robert climbed higher. Where? Higher. What did he do next? He saw who? A bunny. What did he have? Floppy ears. Hopping, where was he going? Hopping by. What did he do? "Hello, bunny," Robert said. What did the bunny do? The bunny wiggled its nose. And then what did it do? It bounced back into the bush. So, I think you catch the drift of what's going on here. We're reading the story, we're in the story, and we're delivering it. So what we're going to do next, I'm going to put this story into poetry form in the style of iambic pentameter. So that is the beat of 5 that Shakespeare wrote a lot of his poems and high status characters in. And it's dee-dum, 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 dee-dum. And our English language actually formulates this beat quite a lot because it's the beat of the heart. And for some reason, our sentence rhythm and our sentence structure when we speak sometimes uses this iambic to say sentences. So I don't really understand what I'm saying right now, but sometimes when I do speak, I notice after, oh, that was in the beat of 5. So we're going to turn this story into iambic pentameter. Now, you may be completely speaking about something completely different in your videos, but this is just the exercise. So, one morning bright, young Robert laced his boots. So, to the beat of iambic, it would be, one morning bright, young Robert laced his boots. He grabbed his pack and set off down the path. The sky was blue and the breeze was soft and cool. So with the iambic as well, there's a lot of breathing and a lot of punctuation that gives you the start of the line, the midline, and the end of the line. And your goal is to breathe at the beginning. One morning bright, young Robert laced his boots, and breathe. He grabbed his pack and set off down the path. The sky was blue, the breeze was soft and cool. The trees all waved and whispered as he passed. So what we're doing is, again, we're using all of these to ask the questions of what's going on in the story so that we know, so that our audience knows. And then we're making it into a sort of rhythm. And then once we do that, we take it back to the original. After we've done the iambic and the breathing, we then pay more attention to our punctuation. One sunny morning, little Robert put on his red boots and black backpack. Today he was going on a big adventure. Up the tall, twisty mountain behind Grandma's house. Okay? So what we've done is we've created a rhythm through going through iambic that gives that sort of da-dum, da-dum, brings it into the heart, so we're radiating from that part of our body when we tell a story because it's close to us. We tell stories because they are things that light us up. And then we add a bit of rhythm to it. And then we bring it back to the original story, and that gives it a little extra oomph after. And then we can apply this to any script. So right now, I'm going to ask ChatGPT, write me a VSL for my voice. Oh wait, yeah, TED Talk. So again, ChatGPT is writing this out. I have no idea what it's about to say. It knows about me, of course, already. And using all of this, embodying the words, sight reading, that we're not stuck to our script, using punctuation and breathing and beats in between the things we're saying, and getting physical with it, with gesture and embodying what we're talking about. Who are they? Where are we? What are we doing? When? We're adding feeling and intention behind what we're saying, and bring some rhythm from the heart. So what if I told you the most powerful instrument that you own is the one you've been afraid to use? When I was younger, I learned how to perform, how to charm, how to speak the lines, smile on cue, and fit the part. But what I didn't know, what no one teaches you, is how to own your voice. So when I start that, I'm putting on a bit of a performance, but this is a rehearsal. Remember, everything that you do on your own, you're embodying it. By the time it comes to actually sitting in front of a camera and doing it and speaking your message, you're going to have had all of this rehearsal time, all of this embodiment of what you're saying, so it's going to flow out. What if I told you the most powerful instrument that you own is the one you've been afraid to fully use? When I was younger, I learned how to perform, how to charm, how to speak the lines, smile on cue, and fit the part. What I didn't know, what no one teaches you, is how to own your voice. So the more you work on it, the more you play around with the rhythm, whether you're going between 1, 5, or 10. What if I told you the most powerful instrument that you own is the one you're fully afraid to know? Again, it just doesn't work for a VSL. But in an intention, if you're doing a circus setting, it might work. But now you know the levels, you can choose what you do. So I hope that helps with storytelling and applying that, practicing with something very basic to begin with, and then building up, and then applying that to your scripts, applying that to the stories you want to tell online, and then that will help you engage your audience. That will help people on the edge of their seat listen as you bring them in using your intention, and you'll be connected to your voice because you'll be breathing and you'll have rehearsed it and it will sound great.